Hey everybody. So I didn't realize until after I was editing this video that my microphone for the first few clips was only partway connected, so it didn't catch any of my audio. I figured rather than start over because I can't and the project is done, that I would just do kind of a voiceover and go through everything I was talking about. So this is trim that I just finished, shiplap and all that stuff. The point of this project is to trim out this big gray wall that is behind me. I'll be getting to in a second. It's very hard to decorate anything. It gets dirty because it's a pass through from the kitchen. And for about 20 or 25 bucks, I am going to put up some trim on the wall and make it a little more durable and maybe a little more interesting, a little easier to decorate. And I was just going to walk through and show you guys the steps and exactly what I did and how it worked out. So here I'm showing that it's going to separate the bottom and the top half of the wall. It gives the wall a little bit of depth rather than, we had a mirror hanging here before, rather than a mirror hanging on a giant wall, it gives you kind of it frames it out a little bit, makes it nice. So this next clip is in the garage where I have all the trim. These whiteboards are 1 by 6 by 8. That's 1 inch thick, 6 inches wide, and 8 feet long. These are made of MDF, which is like compressed cardboard almost, really heavy compressed cardboard. They're not good for outside, but they're great for inside. They're very cheap. These 1 by 6s are about $4.50. The 1 by 3s, which is, I'm using two different types of trim. The 1 by 3s are about $3.50. As compared to this, the unfinished wood that you'll see underneath this pile, I think I'm going to take it out in a second. Those are 1 by 6 by 8s, but they cost, I believe, over $11 per board. They have a very rough finish. If they sit in the sun, you can see the after a while the knots in the wood. The I guess it's the sap will come through the paint, and it's just more work. You have to put multiple coats on it. This MDF that I'm showing right here, 2 coats and it looks great. And it's very smooth. It paints very easily. There are no abnormalities in the wood. It's good stuff. Cheap, saves money. That's my go-to for trim. Next up in this following clip is going to be a shot of some of this finished trim in the kitchen. Because the dining room butts up to the kitchen, I wanted the height of the trim to be the same in both rooms. So we're going to measure to the bottom of the top horizontal piece of trim, and that's how I'm going to get my measurement for the next room that I'm doing. Back in the room and you can get a better look at the wall. It's just a big plain gray wall. It gets a lot of fingerprints because we have a kid who runs through here and stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a mark for the bottom of my top horizontal piece of trim. From there, I will put the board on the wall, put a brad nail or 2 in it, and then level it out to that mark for the bottom of the trim. Right here, I put 2 brad nails in it, and it is level. So at that point, we'll go through and finish tacking it up and get the next board in to finish the run from one side of the trim to the other. I prefer to do this as one board rather than having a seam, but I only have a 6-foot bed in my truck, and some things just aren't worth all the extra hassle. This seam right here, once it's caulked, it'll be basically unnoticeable, so it won't be too bad. Anyway, this next clip is where my audio will pick back up. So I'm going to cut off the voiceover and just listen to the audio that's in the video.
15 inches for 4 boards. 132 minus 15 is 120, 117? I just had this done in my head. 117 divided by 5, it comes out to about 23 and a half inches per box. So I'm going to do 23 inches over, 23 inches from here, mark it, and then my vertical post is going to go right in the middle of that mark. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but it's going to work out. We'll see. I'm going to go grab them now. So I measured out and made, let's see, marks. That little line right there. And then I just measured down. There's another one right there. So there's 4 marks. There's going to be 4 verticals to make 5 boxes across the bottom. I'm zoomed in. And all right, I'm going to go cut those. All right, so I've got all the verticals nailed in. Everything is pretty much where it's supposed to be. I did use a level on each one to make sure it was straight vertical. This box is slightly smaller than the others because I forgot that this trim went behind this door trim. It kind of slides into this gap at the bottom. So whatever. I mean, unless somebody comes in here with a tape measure, nobody's ever going to really know. It's not perfect, but that's how I do things. Kind of good enough is what I aim for. I'm going to caulk all the joints, take the outlet cover off, and paint everything the trim color. And we'll see how it comes out. Oh, and if you're thinking about doing home projects, a lot of people think that they need to buy like Milwaukee tools and DeWalt and all that stuff. Compressor, Harbor Freight. I think it was like 80 bucks. This thing is great. You don't want to go too small, but you don't want to have a huge compressor. I had a 12-gallon compressor that I had to drag everywhere through the house. It was a nightmare. Got rid of it. Got this one, very easy to carry. And this is my favorite tool ever. It's a brad nailer. I think it costs like $17 or something like that. It's never misfired a nail, and I've done the entire house. This is the second time I've done trimming the house. The first time I did a real shitty job. So we're redoing everything now. It's never misfired a nail. It's really good. So this entire setup, 100 bucks, makes your life so much easier. Anyway, caulk and paint next. Wall is caulked. It looks a little better. The seam it's hard to see. So I'm gonna let that dry now. I'm gonna take this thing off of the wall, and next I'm going to do 1 coat on the trim, at least 1 coat on the trim, 2 coats on the gray, all trim paint. And then you won't even be able to tell that this is drywall. So that will be next. Okay, and here is the finished product. It is nighttime now. I put 3 coats of paint in the middle and 2 coats on all of the trim. Came out pretty good. Caulked all the seams. So for, I don't know, $25, that's what I came up with. I think it breaks up the wall, makes it look pretty nice. Actually, I need to do a little bit of touch-up right here. Right there needs a little bit of touch-up. But pretty happy with it. So thank you for watching. And good luck if you try it yourself.